somewhere beneath the crushing weight of the ocean. In the dark, silent depths where light has never reached. Could something monstrous still be lurking? Millions of years ago, a predator ruled the seas, a creature so massive, so terrifying, that even today, its very name sends shivers down our spines. Megalodon. Scientists say it's extinct, but strange sightings, unexplained sonar readings, and chilling testimonies from sailors hint at a darker possibility. What if the king of the ancient oceans never truly vanished? What if, in the uncharted trenches of our planet, Megalodon is still alive? In this episode, we dive deep into one of the ocean's most terrifying mysteries. Stay with us. And don't forget to subscribe if you dare explore what lies beneath. Part 1. What exactly was Megalodon? Imagine the largest shark you've ever seen. Now triple its size, and you might come close to the sheer scale of Megalodon, the most terrifying predator the ocean has ever known. Megalodon, scientifically named Otodus megalodon, lived approximately 23 to 6 million years ago during the Miocene and Pliocene epochs. Its name means giant tooth, and that name is no exaggeration. Fossilized teeth of this beast have been found measuring over 7 inches long, razor sharp and serrated like the blades of nature's perfect weapon. These weren't just teeth, they were instruments of dominance, tools of a prehistoric king. Based on fossil evidence and jaw reconstructions, scientists estimate that Megalodon could grow between 18 to 20 meters long. That's roughly 60 to 66 feet. To put that into perspective, that's 3 times the size of a great white shark and longer than a city bus. Estimates of its weight vary, but it could have weighed up to 6,100 tons. That's heavier than a fully loaded Boeing 737 airplane. But it wasn't just the size that made Megalodon terrifying, it was power. This ancient predator had the most powerful bite force of any known creature, up to 40 pounds per square inch. That's enough to crush the skull of a whale like a tin can. Megalodon likely hunted massive marine mammals, such as prehistoric whales, dolphins, and even other sharks. Fossils of whale bones have been found with bite marks matching the pattern and size of Megalodon teeth, offering chilling evidence of its hunting prowess. The oceans during Megalodon's reign were very different from today. Warmer waters, more abundant marine life, and less competition allowed this apex predator to thrive. Wherever Megalodon swam, it ruled. It had no natural predators. It was, quite literally, the king of the seas. And unlike today's sharks, Megalodon wasn't a stealth hunter. It didn't need to be. Its overwhelming size, speed, and bite meant it could charge head-on, ambushing prey with brutal efficiency. Its massive jaws could open over 10 feet wide, allowing it to swallow large prey whole or tear them apart in a single devastating attack. In comparison, the great white shark, today's most feared ocean predator, maxes out at about 6 meters, 20 feet long. It's tiny next to Megalodon. If the two met face to face, the great white wouldn't stand a chance. So the question lingers, how could such a powerful, dominant force simply vanish? What led to the disappearance of this oceanic giant? And more importantly, did it ever truly go extinct? Part 2. Why do scientists believe Megalodon went extinct? For a creature so massive and dominant, Megalodon's sudden disappearance from the fossil record is one of the ocean's greatest puzzles. How does the king of the seas simply vanish? Scientists believe that Megalodon went extinct around 6 million years ago, during the late Pliocene epoch. And while no one can point to a single cause, there's strong evidence suggesting that a perfect storm of catastrophic changes brought down the ancient giant. First and foremost, global climate change. Around this time, Earth began entering a period of significant cooling. The planet was transitioning into the Ice Age, and temperatures across the globe dropped sharply. Oceans became colder, sea levels fluctuated, and entire ecosystems began to shift. Warm coastal waters, where Megalodon once thrived, became inhospitable. The species, likely adapted to warmer tropical and subtropical waters, would have struggled to survive as the oceans chilled. Next came the dramatic change in sea levels. As glaciers expanded, more of Earth's water was locked in ice, causing sea levels to fall. This not only shrank Megalodon's hunting grounds, but also disrupted key nursery areas, shallow, protected waters where young Megalodons likely grew and fed. With fewer safe zones and less habitable space, juvenile sharks may have faced higher mortality rates, putting long-term survival at risk. Then came the disappearance of Megalodon's primary food sources. Megalodon hunted large marine mammals, including early whales, cows, and dolphins, but many of these species began to decline or migrate during the climate shift. Simultaneously, new predators emerged: smaller, faster, more adaptable sharks and orcas, some of which still exist today. The combination of fewer prey and rising competition would have placed even more stress on the giant predator. And finally, there's the fossil record. One of the strongest arguments for Megalodon's extinction is the complete absence of its remains. Beyond 6 million years ago, fossilized teeth, once found across every continent except Antarctica, suddenly stop appearing. If a creature that large still existed, scientists argue, we would have found newer evidence: recent teeth, bite marks on modern whales, or even sonar pings indicating its presence. But none of that has been found. Not in modern whale carcasses, not on the ocean floor, not even in the deepest, most remote parts of the sea where strange creatures still hide. This leads mainstream science to a clear conclusion: Megalodon is extinct. Yet, the absence of evidence is not always evidence of absence. And in the vast, unexplored depths of Earth's oceans, mysteries can still swim unseen. So the question persists: what if the scientists are wrong? What if something ancient still lurks below? Part 3: Strange Reports. Could Megalodon still be alive? Science may say it's extinct, but the ocean tells a different story. For decades, even centuries, there have been bizarre and chilling reports from sailors, diverse, and deep-sea explorers, stories that suggest something massive, ancient, and very much alive may still be lurking far below the surface. One of the earliest and most curious accounts dates back to 1875, during the voyage of the British naval ship HMS Challenger. While mapping the ocean floor, crew members reported discovering a set of massive shark-like jaws, estimated to be nearly 3 meters wide. At the time, there was no known species living or extinct that could match such dimensions. Except for one Megalodon, the report was dismissed as anecdotal, but the description still haunts maritime historians. Since then, tales of giant sharks have continued to emerge. Numerous fishermen and sailors across the Pacific and Indian Oceans have described seeing enormous dark shadows moving beneath their boats, shapes longer than submarines, gliding just out of reach. Some swore they saw tails as wide as truck beds, or fins slicing through the water that towered higher than any great white could ever manage. When asked to identify what they saw, many simply say, "It wasn't like any shark I've ever seen before." More recently, in the era of modern technology, deep-sea divers and submersibles have captured strange, grainy footage often dismissed by skeptics that hints at something massive moving in the depths. One of the most controversial pieces of evidence came from a 2020 deep-sea probe near the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the world's oceans. A short video clip, only a few seconds long, shows what appears to be a gigantic, slow-moving shadow, far larger than any known sea creature. Some experts claimed it was just a trick of light. Others say the scale doesn't lie. The debate raged across online forums and marine biology circles. Was it a hoax, a glitch in the camera? Or had the probe truly captured something ancient, watching silently from the abyss? In truth, the oceans remain over 80% unexplored. There are trenches, caves, and underwater mountains where sunlight has never reached, and human technology still struggles to explore. Could a massive, elusive predator survive in such a world, feeding rarely, hiding skillfully, and avoiding the growing reach of human curiosity? It seems impossible, but then again, we once believed giant squids were a sailor's fantasy, until one washed ashore. So maybe Megalodon didn't disappear. Maybe it just went deeper. Part 4. The Unexplored Deep. Could Megalodon be hiding there? We often think we've conquered the Earth, mapped its lands, studied its skies, and tamed its oceans. But here's a chilling truth. Over 80% of the ocean floor remains completely unexplored. In an age where satellites orbit the stars and rovers crawl on Mars, we still know shockingly little about what lies beneath the crushing blackness of the world's oceans. The deep sea is the final frontier, and if there's anywhere a prehistoric predator could still exist undetected, this is it. Take, for example, the Mariana Trench, located in the western Pacific Ocean. It's the deepest known part of the Earth's seabed, plunging nearly 0 meters, 0 feet into darkness. At that depth, it's pitch black, icy cold, and the pressure is so intense it would crush most life instantly. And yet life exists there. Scientists have discovered alien-like creatures thriving in this extreme environment, ghostly amphipods, bioluminescent jellyfish, and species of fish with translucent skin and skeletal jaws. If these bizarre life forms can survive there, could something much larger, something like Megalodon, have evolved to do the same? Some theorists believe so. They argue that if Megalodon survived extinction, it may have retreated to the Hadal Zone, far below human reach. Over millions of years, it could have adapted, becoming slower, more elusive, maybe even smaller to match the limited food supply. Or perhaps it became a solitary hunter, rising only rarely to feed before disappearing into the abyss once more. It's not as far-fetched as it sounds. We've already seen modern species that were once thought extinct reappear in the deep. The coelacanth, a fish believed to have vanished 66 million years ago, was found alive and well off the coast of South Africa in 1938, hidden in plain sight, thriving in deep waters. Could Megalodon be doing the same? Skeptics argue that a predator of its size couldn't go unnoticed, but that assumes we've truly looked. And the truth is, we haven't. Our submarines rarely dive below 0 meters, and sonar scanning is limited. Most of the sea is still a mystery wrapped in shadow, and large parts have never been touched by light, probe, or man. So, while the surface world has written Megalodon off as a legend of the past, the deep says otherwise. Where sunlight fails and pressure rules, perhaps a creature from another age still glides silently unseen, unknown, and very much alive. Part 5. Scientific Rebuttals. Why Megalodon likely doesn't exist today. As thrilling as the mystery may be, science insists we take a step back and look at the evidence, or more precisely, the lack of it. First and foremost, no verified modern fossil of Megalodon has ever been discovered. The last known remains date back to the Pliocene epoch, about 6 million years ago. Not a single tooth, bone fragment, or carcass has surfaced from recent layers of sediment. For a creature supposedly still alive and massive in size, that silence is deafening. Paleontologists argue that if Megalodon had survived, we would have found new fossils or bite marks on modern whales and sea mammals consistent with its signature teeth. Instead, all such patterns end exactly where the Pliocene ends. Evolution may work wonders, but it doesn't leave a clean, evidence-free gap spanning millions of years. Then there's the matter of scale. Megalodon wasn't a stealthy animal. At an estimated 18 to 20 meters long and weighing up to 50-70 tons, it would have been nearly impossible to hide, especially in a world where even the rarest marine animals are eventually detected via sonar, satellite imagery, or by accident in fishing nets. And yet, there's been no physical evidence, no remains, no DNA samples, no sonar signatures, Not even verified fecal matter, which, for a carnivore that size, would be notable. Marine biologists also point out that the ocean's food chain can't support a hidden population of such massive predators. A single megalodon would need tons of food weekly, likely large marine mammals. Yet, no unexplained losses of whales, dolphins, or large prey species have been recorded at any suspicious rate. So why do people still believe? Some scientists suggest the answer lies in human psychology. Throughout history, people have been drawn to monsters, myths, and the unknown. From sea serpents to krakens, the ocean has always served as a canvas for our deepest fears and wildest imaginations. The megalodon is the perfect modern sea monster, real enough in history, terrifying enough in scale, and just mysterious enough to leave room for doubt. Psychologists argue that humans are hardwired to seek patterns and create stories to explain the unexplainable. When a fisherman sees a large shadow in the deep, it's not hard for the mind to reach for legend, especially one with rows of 6-inch teeth. In truth, the megalodon may live on not in the ocean, but in our collective imagination. Still, the absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence, and that tiny crack in certainty is just enough to keep the legend alive. Even as science says, it's gone. Let it rest. Part 6. Popular Belief and Pop Culture. Megalodon lives on in our imagination. Even if science has declared Megalodon extinct, the public never let it go. In fact, over the last few decades, this prehistoric predator has returned in a different form, not as a creature lurking in the ocean's depths, but as a cultural phenomenon, feeding on curiosity, fear, and a fascination with the unknown. The 2018 blockbuster movie The Meg, starring Jason Statham, raked in over $500 million worldwide. Audiences watched in awe as a colossal shark terrorized the seas, an ancient force reawakened. The film didn't just entertain, it reignited the question, what if? Television networks capitalized on this hunger for the mysterious. Discovery Channel's Shark Week aired documentaries suggesting Megalodon may still roam the oceans, presenting mockumentary-style footage as if it were real. The result, outrage from scientists and massive ratings from viewers. Despite the disclaimers, many believed what they saw because deep down, we want to believe. Social media has only accelerated this trend. On Reddit, countless threads speculate about Megalodon sightings and theories. YouTube is full of deep-sea footage, with titles like "Real Megalodon Caught on Camera," racking up millions of views. And over on TikTok, short, eerie videos show massive shadows under boats, paired with ominous music and captions like "He's still out there." These aren't just random internet clips. They are digital campfire stories for the modern age, where fear spreads faster than facts. But why does Megalodon strike such a powerful chord? The answer may lie in our primal psyche. From the dawn of time, humans have feared what lies beneath the waves. The ocean is vast, unknowable, and merciless. Its depth hides danger. Its silence masks predators. The idea that something ancient and powerful, something older than civilization itself, still hunts in the dark is terrifying and weirdly thrilling. Megalodon, in this sense, is not just a shark, it's a symbol of everything we can't control, of everything we don't understand. It's the monster under the bed, but bigger. It's the dragon of the sea, only it once actually existed. And so, while science offers its final verdict, the public remains unconvinced, not because of hard evidence, but because of emotion, myth, and memory. Because deep down, we aren't just afraid of the ocean, we're afraid of what it remembers. So, what do we really know? Megalodon was real, that's not up for debate. It once ruled the oceans as the undisputed apex predator. Its jaws could crush bones, its shadow inspired fear, and its legend never died. Today, science tells us it's gone, extinct, a relic of the past. And maybe they're right. But the ocean remains the most unexplored realm on Earth. Over 80% of its depths are still uncharted. Down there, In the crushing cold and darkness, strange creatures thrive. Some we've only recently discovered. Others we never imagined possible. So ask yourself, is it really that impossible? That something ancient might still be hiding below? Maybe it's not Megalodon. Maybe it's something we haven't even named yet. But one thing is certain, the sea keeps its secrets well. And that's why the legend lives on. Because it's not just about one massive shark. It's about our desire to believe that the unknown still exists, that we haven't unraveled all the mysteries of this planet. So if the mystery calls to you, if you're ready to dive deeper into the strange, the unexplained, and the terrifying truths beneath the surface, subscribe to this channel. There are many more secrets waiting in the deep. And this is just the beginning.